Mercury officially goes retrograde today, and this is what it means for you. The impacts of this retrograde is actually going to be much bigger than we all anticipate. And the reason is because of the retrograde happening in Sagittarius. Sagittarius has everything to do with your belief systems and philosophy over life. What you believe is what you create, and this is the motto that Sagittarius is built upon. Sometimes you're aware of where your beliefs come from, and other times you don't. Now, what happens is you need to see Mercury as your mind, right? Mercury is the way that you think, the way that you communicate, the way that you process information. Depending on where you personally have Mercury, this is how you articulate life. Now, the idea that this retrograde is happening in Sagittarius, it tells us that everybody across the board is having their mind cracked open. And when you have your brain open, subjected to information, guess what that's called? That's called the reprogramming stage. So essentially, all Mercury retrogrades do this. They reprogram our mind. But when it has to do with Sagittarius, who rules over known media and rules over philosophy and your belief systems, then a major part of you is being reconstructed. Now, the reason this is critically important is because it's the first Mercury retrograde after Pluto officially went into Aquarius. And it's also going to match up with the new moon that's coming up in Sagittarius. So what's taking place is whatever in here doesn't align with the paradigm that's coming up in the future with Pluto in Aquarius / Age of Aquarius. You're going to start unveiling and working through those belief systems. It's important, it's critical for the next stage of life. So this period, this whole retrograde period, you want to ask why questions and you want to research. It's all about becoming studious within your own self. This isn't anything that you have to talk about with other people. That's Gemini. This is your independent research that needs to take place. So go within yourself, ask the questions that are coming up for you. Why this? Why that? Why do we have to do that? And then research it. Find the experts who have dedicated their entire life for the question that you have. I guarantee you there's an expert out there for it. And start formulating a new perspective, a new perception, a new reality, a new belief system that's going to help you anchor your future goals, because we all have goals coming in for 2025. We all want to see a different reality for ourselves. We all want to manifest bigger things. And this retrograde is helping us get there by deprogramming us in our old ways of thinking. So my suggestion for everybody across the board is get off media. And when I say media, I'm talking about traditional media. The money behind media. That's the number one tool that is used to program the masses. So mainstream pages, mainstream news, mainstream artists, anything that has a ton of money behind it, we'll look away from, because that has an agenda behind it. And if you want to create your own mind, your own philosophy, and your own path into the world, you have to go based off of your truth, which is going to come from yourself asking the why questions, not it being fed to you. The good news about this retrograde is that it typically doesn't have to do with the chaos of interpersonal relationships. So I don't anticipate miscommunications and things of this nature, because this is an internal retrograde. It's you and yourself and God. So really keep that in mind. Unless you're somebody who actually travels, then I would be like, pump the brakes, because some things may come up. But what I anticipate happening for a lot of people is the way you grew up. The way you grew up is probably outdated, and it's on its way out, in essence, to what you were taught, what your parents ingrained in you, and the religions or belief systems or whatever that looked like. You may still have some programs running in your mind, and this retrograde is saying, we're done with it. We're out with it. It's actually not fitting where we're going, and we need to be brave and courageous enough to break down those walls. Actually, in 2025, we're going to have the same retrograde, so it's coming in fragments for us.